Well, it was truly a noche to remember, that's for sure. Welcome in to LAFC Plus, episode 74 for this show, and we really appreciate everyone who has found the show, who's been with us since the beginning, some of you. We really appreciate everybody who wants to follow along, listen, or if you're on YouTube, to watch the show as well. He is Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm, and this is LAFC Plus. Mario, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Yeah, LAFC definitely went all out on celebrating Carlos Vela that night. It was just amazing. It was a perfectly planned party for Carlos and all of the fans, from like the t-shirts. The fireworks was really cool that night. The LED bracelets that they gave out to everybody, and then the Ring of Honor ceremony was just wonderful to hear Vela on the microphone talking to the fans and stuff. And then to top it all off with a beautiful win with some beautiful goals, because there were some really sick goals. And it really was one of the funnest nights at BMO Stadium in history, I think, Dave. It was really a fun night. Yeah,
there wasn't the pressure of a playoff game or something like that, where it's, you know how I talk about it. Look, I love the playoff atmosphere at BMO, but they're miserable on some level, right? Because you're so nervous and it's not fun. And that was fun. No doubt about it. Even with RSL, and all 5 goals were worthy of Noche de Carlos Vela.
Right.
They were all worthy of Carlos's skill, and all the goals he scored. All 5, including Brian Vera from long distance, just an absolutely cracking goal. That got things started, in fact.
I had to clap it up for him in the booth. I clapped it up. I didn't let anybody see me, but I was clapping. Wow.
So much easier to love that goal after we score 4, of course. Like if it would have been 1-0, I'd have been ticked off, of course. But it stayed 1-0 pretty much until the stoppage time of the first half. LAFC were getting into the game. Rafael Cabral had a couple of nice saves along the way. Certainly, it felt very much like the RSL game just a few nights before then on Wednesday in Salt Lake, Sandy, Utah, where the RSL didn't score first in that game, but it just felt like LAFC were inevitable, even if as they were down 1-0 on that world-class strike from Brian Vera. I mean, nobody's stopping that. There's no chance. Once LAFC got one, Mario, I felt like they were going to move on to win the game, but I didn't think it was going to happen that quickly in stoppage time. Just unbelievable goals. The first one from Denis Bouanga, of course, assisted by Son Heung-Min. Just a great pass, great run for Denis and a pure finish. But then this second goal from LAFC was a thing of beauty. You'll hear the call. I'm going to bring you the call right now from 710 ESPN and LAFC. This is my radio call of that. This Son Heung-Min goal.
Back to Eddie making a run. Top of the area to Martinez. Martinez on the right foot. Leaving it there for Son. Puts it on the left foot. Shot. Eddie! Oh, Son Heung-Min! Golazo, golazo, golazo! It's 2-1 LAFC! BMO Stadium is absolutely rocking! And Son Heung-Min with a primal scream in celebration. An absolute wicked goal with the left foot to the near post. Off the assist from David Martinez, it's 2-1.
2-1 in a matter of minutes, obviously, in stoppage time, and then LAFC cruised to the 4-1 victory. And I want to play the fourth and final goal because it was the hat trick from Denis Bouanga, right? They're taking turns now doing each Son and Denis are taking turns getting hat tricks.
I love it.
It's while the other one gets 1 goal in the games, right? So third straight match where someone has had a hat trick for LAFC, of course, either Denis or Son. This happened to be Denis' second out of the 3. Here's how that sounded.
Touch on it, but Vera tries to blast it forward. It deflects right to Abobasi. Top of the area, Abobasi laying into the run of Denis. Shot, Eddie! Denis scores! It's another hat trick for Denis Bouanga, and the flip forward out, Denis! You hug Jeremy Abobasi indeed, Denis! What an assist from Abobasi finding Bouanga, who finished it off with brilliance. It's 4-1! Denis Bouanga had his 20th, his 21st, and now his 22nd of the season. A hat trick again for Denis Bouanga.
Yeah, Mario, to say he's hot is just an absolute understatement.
And you can see that Carlos is really, really happy too. He was happy that night, and you could tell that he's happy with the direction that LAFC is heading right now. And after that show that he saw on the field that night, Son Heung-Min with the golazo, Denis put on the show. After that, Denis, he came up to Carlos. I remember he came up to Carlos and they were talking, and Carlos was saying, "Hey, man, Denis, I said, give me 1, not 3. And then Denis just like, hey, that's what I do, But,
exactly.
But Carlos is definitely passing along the torch to Denis and Son. Obviously, Denis passed Carlos with the all-time, scorer in LAFC history. But now it's up to Son to see what he can do and see the trophies that he can bring to LAFC. Obviously, he's got a lot of work to do still. But It seems like the torches definitely have been passed to Denis and Sonny, and that's the era that we're in right now. It's a very, very fun era right now for LAFC and LAFC fans.
Yeah, I just want to make sure my stats are correct here as I'm looking down, because, Mario, they're just ridiculous. Denis Bouanga in his last 12 MLS games. 12. Now, this is before Son got here, of course, in terms of playing with LAFC. Denis Bouanga in the last 12 MLS games, 14 goals in those 12 games. To say he's hot is just ridiculous. We know that. But Son Heung-Min, 7 MLS matches, 6 goals and 3 assists. I mean, and it wasn't like it took Son very long, but it wasn't like he, you have to take some time to adapt. Now, he's adapted a lot faster maybe than even anybody would imagine, even as great as a player as he is, because sometimes it just takes a little while. It hasn't taken him anything. His influence is clear, Mario.
Oh, yeah.
And again, we talked about this a little bit, not to disparage this guy, but Olivier Giroud scored again on Thursday for Lille in the Europa League. He's got 2 goals in Ligue 1, right? Olivier Giroud is an amazing player. Not used to be. He is, but it just wasn't the right fit, right? We talked about that. Son, on the other hand, appears to be the right fit.
Away.
Because Olivier Giroud still scoring. He's scoring in one of the best leagues in the world, and then he scores in Europa League too. So it's not like he's still a great player. Son, of course, is as well. It's just a different fit. That's all, and that's what happens. And they found the guy who's the right fit at that spot, and just incredible. We knew it's a no-brainer signing off the pitch too, of course. And even if he wasn't this red hot to start, of course, it's a no-brainer signing. It's great. It's a perfect signing. Well, this is just perfect plus. and
we all know Denis likes to get hot around this time of the season. Typically, he struggles towards the beginning. And again, this year, he couldn't find the back of the net towards the beginning of the season. Although he had plenty of chances, it just wasn't finding the back of the net. Now, everything is going into the back of the net. Of course, Son is helping out tremendously with that. He's getting a lot of 1v1s, something that he never had here at LAFC before. But now, he's finding the back of the net, and it's just amazing to see. But also, Carlos has to be just proud of the whole entire organization, because he was here from the very, very beginning. I know we're still talking about Noche de Carlos Vela and the celebration that was. So he's got to be just so proud of how far they've come, because he came here when he didn't know anything about MLS, or he didn't know much about MLS, didn't know any of the coaches. There were no coaches, there were no players. So to take that risk and then to come over here and set it off the way he did, setting records, shattering records, setting off the derby matches against the Galaxy, winning trophies, the first few trophies for LAFC. And, I wouldn't be surprised, Dave, if, I think he deserves this definitely. In the near future, sometime down the line, we see a statue at BMO Stadium for Carlos Vela. Nobody would deserve that more, obviously. So it'd be cool to see like a Vela statue, maybe of him like hitting it with his beautiful left foot, something like that. But that is much deserved for Carlos Vela down the line. We'll see if it happens. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree. And I love the Ring of Honor. Obviously, the first ever, person put up there, of course, is Carlos Vela, rightfully so. You know what I like? And I'm not, I don't tell LAFC anything about it. Like, they can do what they want. I mean, they don't listen to me anyway, and that's fine. But I like when those Rings of Honor are not just given out willy-nilly, You know what I'm saying? Like, No
Of
disrespect.
course, you got to earn those.
Players in professional sports, and some teams have rings, that they do this, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be super exclusive, if that makes sense, right? Like, you want that to be the best of the best from your club and your organization from top on down. And there's no doubt about it, Denis Bouanga is going to be up there. That's the point, right? He's already an MLS legend, not just an LAFC legend. There's a difference, right, as we all know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's some, players who are like, wow, if you go to that city and talk about them in sports, it's like, oh, legend. But maybe the rest of the league doesn't, like, we've got some of these in my hometown of Cleveland. There's players that are remembered like that the rest of the league isn't necessarily like, oh my gosh, what a unbelievable, I'm not talking LeBron James, that's a different level, but you know what I mean? Like, so I want the LAFC Ring of Honor to be like the absolute best of the best legends. And Denis there, Mario. He's there.
Yeah, and it might be actually two players that are here with LAFC. It might be Denis Bouanga. The next one might be Son Heung-Min.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Because
Absolutely.
these are going to be icons of the club. They're already putting work. They're two of the hottest scorers in the entire league right now, heading into the playoffs. There's nobody more dangerous than these two guys. And it's only the very, very beginning of their relationship on the field. Can you imagine a few more games down the line, or maybe next season? I mean, these guys are going to be unstoppable. It's only going to grow even bigger, better, stronger for these guys. So can't wait for that when they learn each other's tendencies, runs, and all this stuff. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, another amazing win, 4-1, same scoreline over RSL in both matches. They played within about 4 days, right? Whatever, Wednesday, Sunday. And so LAFC get two big wins. It's tough to get 6 points off of anybody that quick turnaround. We've had it a few times in our 8-year history. It doesn't happen often, of course. A lot of times it happens on the rescheduled matches, as we've seen. Most of the time they don't really schedule you back to back with a team. It happens on a rare occasion, but this, of course, was a remade, or I guess a rescheduled match because of our addition into the Club World Cup. So that just happened to work out that we played RSL 2 straight games. Tough break for them, because they're catching us at the wrong time, just like everybody else who's been playing us of late. And we'll get to the game coming up. But I want to just end real quick. We have a lot of new fans, right? I think my light just went out. We have a lot of new fans that are joining LAFC Plus and LAFC. And, we want to, if you're new, it was a great kind of night to learn about Carlos Vela, right? Like, because that, again, there's a lot of people coming into LAFC for the first time that maybe they want to know, they want to get behind the club and all that. Carlos Vela is the perfect place to start. Just a legend. And you don't even have to trust us, which he did everything for LAFC. You can go to Real Sociedad. I've seen videos, Mario. It's amazing. I've seen videos like on YouTube and stuff where people take a camera to Sociedad, where he left, of course, to join LAFC, several years ago already. And they'll be like, Carlos Vela or Lionel Messi? Vela. Like, it's not even like, that's a legend, right? Like, it's like, do you want Carlos Vela or Lionel Vela? Like, they don't even finish the Messi part of that. And they're just like, Carlos Vela, like, absolute legend at Real Sociedad. Obviously that's where he and Antoine Griezmann hooked. So if you're new to the club, you can go back and see what Carlos Vela was doing when he was 18 with the Mexican, or under 17 World Cup with Mexico and things. This guy's always been one of the most talented players in the world, and he just brought that to LAFC every match, and just absolute legend. So quite frankly, we hope Son Heung-Min ends up like that, of course, over the long run, and maybe surpasses. I mean, that's what we hope for, of course. You want every player you sign to be the best player you ever signed, but Carlos Vela, just absolute legend. What a night. Perfect.
I think it was kind of cool for Son to experience that. Obviously, Sonny knows who Carlos Vela is, definitely, for sure. But I think it was cool for him to be in the stadium as the newest player of LAFC, the newest star, but to experience that ceremony and to experience all the love that Carlos got for obviously doing all the things that he did in the black and gold. So it could be motivational, inspirational, like, hey, this could be me in the future, like I want to do stuff like this. I want to earn some trophies like that. I want my name and number up there up against that wall in the Ring of Honor. I think that was kind of cool for Sonny and for Denis, of course, to experience that.
I got to believe there's been some things that have pleasantly surprised Son about signing with LAFC, right? Because you never really, you can talk to everybody. You can know what's going to happen or what the club is about. Right. They'll tell you. you got to go experience it. Really, you can hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh, the 32-52 is amazing, and all. Of course they are, but you got to go experience it, right? You got to score in front of them, you got to win in front of them, and then experience it. And I'm sure Son has been surprised pleasantly by a lot of stuff that goes on around this club. We're not, because we've lived it for these 8 seasons now, or this is the 8th season. But yeah, he's just coming in. Like, you never know, right? You always, even any new player coming to a club, no matter what you've heard, no matter what, you're still wondering, like, is this the right thing to do? That's the bottom line. It's a huge move for any kind of move like this. Especially
I had this conversation with Alexandru Băluță, who's the new LAFC player, the Romanian. He is the new forward for LAFC, just got here, started training last week. You'll see him on the pitch very soon. I had the same exact conversation with him earlier today at the training facility, because I did see him on the pitch celebrating with all the group of guys, and I saw him with a big smile on his face, and I talked to him about that. So here's my chat with him. Alexandru, welcome to Los Angeles. I saw you at the stadium on Saturday night. You were on the pitch celebrating with the boys after the match. What'd you think of the atmosphere at BMO Stadium?
Yeah, hi. Here I am, finally. It was great atmosphere in the last match. Yeah, I saw also the crowd was amazing. Everyone celebrate. Carlos Vela. Was an icon here. He's still an icon. I know him. I follow him also before. So was big gift also that win. So for me it was really nice to join here. I saw a lot of people who celebrate and who support the team all the match. I was impressed, honestly. So that could be great also for me when I will start, when I will debut. That's pushing me a lot, also for my teammates also.
Now that you're here with the black and gold, here in MLS for the first time, what excites you the most about playing for LAFC?
Yeah, it was great when I heard about the interest. I didn't wait. It was really quick, my answer. Yeah, because I was following most of the time the MLS, and since I decided to come here. I was watching also the games of my teammates, and I was really impressed. They show a lot of quality, a lot of potential, and they show like they are not only a team. They are a big family here, and that's the most important. Important is the group, and that's make me brave. That's give me confidence, and I'm really happy now because I'm joining the team, and I just started, so I'm waiting for my debut now.
Now, for LAFC fans that aren't familiar with your style, how would you describe your game, and what do you bring to this attack?
So yeah, it's a challenge for me every day because a lot of players have a lot of quality in the attack, and that's nice because every time it's an ambitious, I need to prove every day that I deserve to play. So it's not easy in football, in sport. It's not easy. I need a good attitude every day and good trainings, because after that, for me, it should be easy in the game if I'm 100% every day. So yeah, I'm sure, not hope. I'm sure that I will help the team.
Now, we all know Son Heung-Min is a one-of-a-kind type of player. He's a one-of-a-kind type of person. What's it like coming to a club with an icon like Sonny?
Wow, yeah. I was really, really grateful to be here, because I saw that Sonny is here. I was watching him in Tottenham all the time. I was following him, and he was great there. He did a lot, He won the Europa League last year, so that's a big lesson also for everyone here, because he is not just a great player. He's an amazing person, and every day he's close to everyone. He just wants to help everyone, and also he's so funny. Yeah, but not only him, everyone have a lot of quality here, and that's really good for the team, because the results are not happen from nothing. So they show till now that we can do better, I think.
Now, growing up as a kid in Romania, did you always know that you wanted to be a footballer? And if you did, who was somebody that you looked up to say, I want to be like him?
Yeah. I was. It was my dream, because my father played also. He was football player in Romania. Most of the time, like 10 years, he played in the first division, and I was around him all the time, and he all the time pushed me. But it comes from my heart. It was my passion, my dream to play football. But it's not easy, You need every day to show, to prove, to have a good discipline. Maybe you don't have too much things to do when you are in the childhood, because everything you need to be focused on the football, what you need to do every day. And dreaming is the best, Dream all the time, because in one day it became true, for sure.
Great answer. I love that answer. I see you have the number 25 tatted right here on your side of your neck. You want to show it to the camera a little bit?
Yeah.
What is that about? What's the number 25 for?
25, it means day of birth of my daughter. She was born on 25 April 2020. Okay. And when you have kids, that make you proud and push you to show that you can do better. Every time you need to makes them like, to be like me, to be an example, and I hope they follow me, and I'm so happy. I'm just waiting for them, because they didn't come yet, and for sure when they will come, they will like a lot here.
Well, welcome to the club, Alexandru, and best of luck. Can't wait to see you on the pitch.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your warm welcome, and that's make me proud, and give me confidence for what it will be next.
Thank you so much. Yeah, another talented player, another talented attacker for LAFC. He knows he's got to work hard. He knows how much talent there is already here at LAFC, so he's got the right mentality.
Yeah, and lest you think he's coming to a club like LAFC, and he played for Steaua Bucharest, so he knows pressure. Obviously LAFC want to win. We want to win championships. We want to win trophies. That's a lot of pressure. You've got to be ready to play. He's got to hit the ground running. But this is a guy who's played with Steaua Bucharest, and that is a massive club over in Romania and in Europe. So he knows what pressure's about. And that's good, because if you start, you might have to hit the ground running in the playoffs if you're Alexandru Băluță, because there's not a lot of time left, of course, and he knows that. But he wants to get out there. I'll tell you what I like about him, Mario, as a player, is I think he can pop up in a lot of different spots for you. Like, I think he can help LAFC on the wings. Certainly, he could play up front if you need him, but I also think he can drop back in the midfield and be an attacking type of midfielder. A guy who can get on the ball earlier and really create. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
I love.
He definitely has a lot of experience. He's got a lot of experience. Exactly. Played in a lot of leagues, tough leagues. Played with a lot of top players.
Exactly. He's not 24 and just still trying to figure it out. He's been there, done that. You're 100% right. I mean, so yeah, I love that. Good call. Great stuff, Mario. Great interview, man. It was good.
Thank you.
Really good stuff. LAFC visiting St. Louis City SC coming up on Saturday. Well, Mario, this is a team that's in flux. Let's be honest. This is not a good organization right now. I mean, not that it's a bad organization. They're in a bad spot. And they're trying to figure it out. David Critchley is their interim manager after they parted ways with Olaf Melberg all the way back in May. Then Lutz Pfannenstiel was shown the door. He had to leave. They had to get to move on from him. Parting of the ways, whatever you want to call it. Nobody gets fired anymore in sports, right? It's all kind of they they're parting ways. Everybody, nobody actually gets fired, right? It's all just good spin. But Lutz Pfannenstiel's time at St. Louis City, running the organization in terms of the footballing side, is done, and they've struggled since that stellar first season a couple of years back, where they won the West, and then obviously hit a bump in the road in the playoffs. But yeah, it's been a struggle. 7 wins, 17 losses, 7 draws. So they're on 28 points. And here's the thing: they have no room for error, and they need help. Like LAFC could knock them out of any postseason in this match, but they have to win their games. They only have 3 left, St. Louis City. So they have to win all 3 and get a ton of help. So they're the last team in the West that hasn't, they're in the bottom spot that they are still alive. There's teams obviously that have been eliminated below them, but it don't look good, bottom line. But that doesn't mean they don't have weapons, Mario.
Yeah.
Still, they can hurt you.
But my question for this match in particular, at this point of the season, the way LAFC is playing, the way St. Louis is playing, my question is, can LAFC get that 4th straight win? And can LAFC get that 4th straight hat trick? Because as crazy and as amazing as that sounds, that would be amazing. I think it is a possibility in this particular match up right here at St. Louis, because last week we talked about the remainder of the season and how it favors LAFC. The schedule is very favorable. This match right here is another one that's favorable for LAFC. It's one of the hottest teams in all of MLS. That's LAFC, of course. And I just think that, this St. Louis team is outside of the playoff picture, barely hanging on to dear life for a chance to get into one of those final spots. They're in 13th place, but it's a team that concedes a lot of goals and doesn't score very many goals either. Yeah. So there's a lot of things here for LAFC to take advantage of, handle business, and get another valuable 3 points on the road, because nobody wants to face LAFC in the playoffs, let alone right now at this very moment in the next game. So
one thing to keep an eye out. It's a good crowd there always. They'll get obviously, then with Son and Denis and LAFC coming in, it's going to be
great
packed,
fans there.
No doubt. They are on a little roll. This is the best they've played all year. They've had 2 straight wins, 3 games unbeaten. I know it's not a ton.
3 games unbeaten,
Yeah, but, they have won a couple in a row. They do have some weapons, as I said. Marcel Hartl, Edward Leuven, Cedric Teuchert, Joao Klaus up front has 9 goals. He's their leading scorer, but it's only 9. But, he's a guy who's a pain in the neck to play. What happened is, I think St. Louis City went after some guys at 2 Bundesliga, right? The 2nd division in Germany, that were having massive seasons at the time. Like one of them, Marcel Hartl, was just ridiculous in 2 Bundesliga for a good team that was going to get promoted. And I think they thought it would translate into the exact same thing in MLS. Now, those guys are good players. They're nice players. But the league has adapted to them. Like at first when they came in, it was like, these guys are like, whoa, like everybody was stunned. Yeah. But once the league kind of, even in the first season, they won the West. Full credit to them for doing that. But even by the end of that season, it wasn't looking good, really. Like they were struggling, to kind of get to the finish line. And then they obviously got dumped out of the playoffs by their rival, Sporting Kansas City, in the first round as an 8 seed. Sporting Kansas City beat the number 1 seed. So it was already kind of on the downward. And I think the league kind of caught up to these players in a sense. Now, again, they can hurt you. They're fine players. You can't take anything for granted, but as Mario said, it's just another game you have to win. Here's the bottom line. We're trying to go up the table here, and it's just, I know it's on the road, Mario, and it's nothing's given, but LAFC's played pretty well on the road of late too. So, they've got a good little streak going themselves. So let's get it. Let's get it done.
And this is a very different LAFC team than the team that they faced back in April, right? In April, these 2 teams faced off at BMO Stadium. 2-2 draw. St. Louis probably came out of there feeling really good. They were down a man late in that game. But this is a very different team that LAFC has right now with no Giroud. Giroud was here back then when they first played out. Zengus Under was here as well. Sure. Marlon was here. Jesus, Aaron Long. This is a very different team.
We've had some turnover this year.
We got Porches now. We got Smolyakov, Andy Morin, and a big one, Son, who's the game changer, right? And him and Denis Bouanga have been deadly. Who's going to stop them too on that St. Louis squad? And remember, Denis scored the brace the last time these 2 faced at BMO Stadium too. So Well, I'll be looking for Denis to score at least one more in this one, hopefully.
Well, and, even in a match like this, going into this game, some people are wondering, like, Son and Denis have scored the last 14 LAFC goals, right? Nobody else has scored. Is that worrisome? Well, no, not if those two are in the lineup. I mean, if they're injured, yeah, of course, that's a bad, that's going to be tough. Everybody who loses their best two players, that would be brutal. But if they're in the lineup, like, people are like, well, you need more scoring. No, that's the thing.
But
as
Dave,
long as both
LAFC,
of them are in there.
Low key, LAFC is tied for the lead in the West for the most goals scored by a team.
Actually, no, I think we're bad. I think we've passed everybody. I could be wrong on that. You may be right. I think we're now.
Last time I checked, we were tied a couple of days ago, but we'll see. Yeah.
You might be right, but you're right. But the point is, like, there's two of them in there causing problems, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, and other people are setting them up, assisting them. David with the goal, the assist rather on the goal. You saw some other, Smolyakov's done it. Like, other guys are getting, a lot of people are getting involved in the offense. It just happens that those two are finishing everything because you can't stop both. So
yeah,
no, there is no problem. I have no problem if those guys are the only two that end up scoring the rest of the year. And
Sonny is definitely leading the way, and he's, inspired all the guys, motivated the guys, whatever. He's changed this team, of course, in a major, major way. But all the other guys are doing their part as well. It's not just Sonny, or it's not just Denis.
No,
we still have Hugo Lloris doing his thing in goal. You still have, so many guys playing well, because it can't just be one guy. It can't just be, Son doing it all. It's everybody collectively that are feeling the vibes right now together and just playing as a family right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Great players don't just play great. They lift other people, right? Like Lionel Messi.
Exactly.
Lionel Messi doesn't just play well. He's the best ever. He plays great every game virtually, but he lifts the other people around him. And
Carlos Vela, he lifted everybody else. Exactly.
When he scored 34 goals that year, he had 15 assists too. I mean,
there were team records being shattered and individual records being shattered.
Yeah, Diego Rossi was a absolute menace on the other side because Carlos Vela was on the other side of the other wing, that they could both, they both allowed the other not to be double teamed too much, quite frankly. So, and that's what Denis and Son are doing. They're finding. And
Son, when he arrived, everybody knew the expectations were going to be high, but for him to deliver so soon has been just amazing. That's what surprises me the most.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is not easy in this league.
It takes a while to adapt.
Denis Bouanga didn't adapt that quickly. I mean, remember, he only had one goal the first season he came in. Now, he came in late in the year. Remember, he signed with Gareth Bale, like, around the same time, so nobody was like, who's Denis Bouanga? Like, we haven't heard of this guy yet. And
I don't even know if there was, like, a press conference to announce Denis.
I can't imagine, unless I'm just totally blanking on that. But Denis, just, like, it took him a little while. Obviously, you could see the talent. It wasn't like he knew he was going to be fine. It just, the stats don't necessarily always show up that quickly. Heck, like Mario said earlier, it's true. Denis doesn't even get going now to start a season sometimes. Like, it takes him a little while to get revved up. But boy, once he does, he's basically been a goal a game since that start of the season where he didn't score for the first, 6 or 7 matches. I mean, do the math, right? Like, he's basically scored a goal a game on average since then, which is incredible for virtually an entire season. Unbelievable. We do have some other wicked games coming up this weekend as everything's coming down to the wire, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff still to be determined, both in the East and West. And we'll do our picks for the plus of LAFC Plus. We like to look around the rest of MLS. My pick for this week, if you're not going to watch LAFC, which you are, this is a different time. So you'll watch LAFC, of course, but also keep an eye on the Hudson River Derby. That's NYCFC, New York City Football Club, at New York Red Bulls, right? That's a good rivalry, no doubt.
Yep.
Remember they had the Red Wedding, right? They had the thrashing that New York City got put on them by the Red Bulls, and they've had some memorable games, no doubt. But I think this is an interesting one, Mario, because NYCFC looks like a team on the rise going into the playoffs, and Red Bulls are just trying to get there again for what would be the 15th or 16th straight season that the Red Bulls would be in the playoffs, the longest streak in MLS. So, but they're teetering on the brink, so this is everything to play for. This basically feels like a playoff game coming up on the weekend.
This is always a good derby match. It's one of the better derby matches in MLS for quite some time now. So that's That's a good matchup right there to watch this weekend. And there's a few games actually too. So I like the Colorado Rapids and Minnesota United. See, Colorado is barely holding on to a playoff spot in 8th place. And us LAFC faithful, of course, we are hoping the Rapids can take down Minnesota United, who's 4 points above LAFC in the Western Conference standing. So that's a matchup that I'll be keeping a close eye on this weekend. And LAFC do have 2 games in hand on Minnesota. So that's another plus for LAFC. I love that. So there's a good chance that LAFC can catch Minnesota United if they do take care of business on this schedule that does favor LAFC. But Minnesota has already clinched a playoff spot, just like LAFC, but they are battling for one of those top 4 positions that everybody wants. You got to have that home field advantage.
Absolutely. 2 great games there. I love that, Mario. Colorado, Minnesota in the West. And again, in the East, Red Bulls and NYCFC. Another thing I like about the Hudson River Derby real quick is, yes, it's very good, great rivalry, but it's also a rivalry where some of the games can be like 5-0, and it's an utter embarrassment for the other team. Like, those are great too on some level. Yeah. When you're facing a bitter rival and you can like not only beat them, but like destroy them, like those are just, doesn't happen often, but it can in that rivalry and has. So those are, you just got to savor, no doubt. Those are good picks.
What about San Diego at San Jose, though? Because San Diego has beat all the California teams twice, and if they beat San Jose, that will be their second time beating San Jose. They beat Galaxy twice. They beat LAFC twice. Sorry to say that. But if they win this weekend in San Jose, they have swept every single game against California teams, which would be very impressive to do in your expansion year. And they could actually get to that number 1 spot in the Supporter Shield too, if they do get a win and some results. So I'll be watching San Diego as well play against San Jose. That one's at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego.
Yeah. And honestly, maybe the best game outside of LAFC playing.
LAFC Seattle, is always Vancouver. The game of the weekend, isn't it? Of course.
Seattle, Vancouver, though. I mean, that's like Seattle, Vancouver is ridiculous.
That is a good one.
Like, And look, we've got a little breathing room on Seattle now, but does that mean we want them maybe to take down Vancouver, or do we want to draw? Like if you're LAFC, do you want them just both to split the points, take no chances that way? We certainly don't want Vancouver winning, I don't think. Obviously, they're still ahead of us by 6 points, and we only have 1 game in hand on them. So we need Vancouver to stumble if we're maybe to catch, the Whitecaps. We need them to stumble down the stretch. So maybe you do actually, I hate to say it, like, Seattle winning, I never want to say that out loud, but like a draw doesn't kill us either way. I kind of like that, like both teams lose points. Like that's
I like
always,
the draw too.
Yeah, that's always good. But most importantly,
Seattle's a little too close.
Yeah, LAFC got to. You're right. They are actually. That's a good point. And if they win and we somehow stumble or something crazy, then you're right back to battling for them. But LAFC at St. Louis City SC. Most importantly, you take care of your business. Coming up Saturday, airtime for that pregame 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can listen to that on the ESPN LA app. If you're new to LAFC and LAFC Plus here, or if you're new to the club, new to the radio situation, if you want to listen, download the ESPN Los Angeles app. It's super easy. It'll be on 710 ESPN in Los Angeles, the 710, the radio, after the Kings Ducks. And those preseason games tend to go real fast in the NHL. In fact, we had one come, the other, we didn't miss anything, essentially. So we were on after, but you didn't miss any of the game itself. So after the Kings Duck, that'll be on 710 ESPN in Los Angeles, in that area, the LA area. You can always listen to it on the app in its entirety. 5 p.m. Pacific for the pregame show on Saturday. Mario, another great episode, buddy. Good stuff as always from you. Take us out of here, man. Great job.
For those that haven't listened to the radio broadcast with you, Dave Denholm, on the microphone, we heard a couple of the highlights earlier in this episode of LAFC Plus. Make sure you guys check out the ESPN LA app. Every single LAFC game is on there, and you get to hear Dave Denholm, all the passion, all the love, all the sports knowledge, the genius that is Dave Denholm, do his thing on LAFC this weekend. Pre-game at 5 p.m. on the ESPN LA app and on 710 after Kings Ducks. We'll catch you on the next one. That's Dave Denholm. I'm Mario Ruiz. Peace.